Minton.
Hare Krishna, Hare Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamaliti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your assistance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanu Pranam to you, all the devotees and Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Raj from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Shyamaguri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyamagauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your valuable association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees on the call and all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Amita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Runda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai. This is Shivani from Ashford, Virginia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And this is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas, Mataji. Prabhuji already have joined.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji to enlightening us on the topic of how the Gaudiya tradition reveals the Radharani special position. Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of
Thank you.
Yeah.
Radharani's special position. Now, before I hand over call to you, Prabhuji, I would like to hand over call to Tiffany Mataji for a brief introduction of Prabhuji.
Mataji, this is not required. I have come quite frequently now. That's okay. How many times you want to introduce?
Okay, Prabhuji. We'll skip.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to hand over call to you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So I'm grateful to be here with all of you today. And so we'll be discussing on the occasion of the Radhashtami about Radharani's special position and how it is revealed by the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. This is strange. Somehow I'm not able to share the screen. Give me a minute. That is strange.
Prabhuji, you are co-host, Prabhuji.
Yeah, somehow this is strange. Okay. Okay, sorry.
Do you want to rejoin, Prabhuji?
No, it's not a problem with the Zoom. It's a problem with my laptop. Anyway, I'll start speaking, and then as the PowerPoint starts, I will provide the use the PowerPoint there. So broadly, I was planning to speak on 3 distinct points. We try to understand how, what is Radharani's position as explicitly described in scripture. Then what is Radharani's position in today's Bhakti culture, and how the Gaudiya tradition has played a pivotal role in highlighting Radharani's position. So the Bhakti tradition has itself existed for quite a long time, and the Bhakti tradition has explained this is strange. Okay, can you just give me a minute, please? I'll try to rejoin.
Sure, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you have to connect to the audio. Prabhuji needs to connect to the audio. We can't hear Prabhuji. Yeah, I have to write a message. We will write a message.
Yeah, Prabhuji cannot hear us.
Yeah, I cannot hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Very sorry. Actually, I joined in from my phone, and I don't know if I'm not able to share. I'm sending you a link to the PPT. Maybe one of you can share it on your screen if possible.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can do that for you.
Okay, I'm sending it to Shama Gauri Mataji's email ID. Is that okay? Not email ID, WhatsApp.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah. She'll forward to me. Yes, Prabhuji. But your microphone has a lot of disturbance, Prabhuji. I mean, I don't know if it's from your microphone or everybody else's microphone.
Fix
I
this.
have to mute everybody and see.
So okay, is it better now? I have fixed a mic.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'm using a...
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhu, but you are up and down. Can you just turn your camera on?
Okay, Mataji, I send it to you.
Yes, Mataji. I will download that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, very clear.
Yes, Prabhuji. Mataji will share. Prabhuji,
yeah, I will share it.
Hare Krishna, am I audible now? Very sorry about this.
We can hear you.
Okay, let's see. So I send the PPT in case I'm not able to share. You can use it from there. Can you make me a co-host, please? Very sorry about the delay. Okay. So let's hope this works. Again, my apologies for this, whatever had happened. So I was talking about 3 points: Radharani in scripture, Radharani in today's Bhakti culture, and Radharani in the Gaudiya tradition. So how the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition has brought the glory of Radharani to the world. That's what we'll be discussing. Now, if we consider, Radharani is not mentioned explicitly in the main scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita or even in the Bhagavatam. Now, the Bhakti tradition has various important scriptures, and of course, Ramayana and Mahabharata are important books, but they have got nothing directly to do with Radharani. Now, that doesn't mean now Bhagavatam, there is an indirect reference, very Anya Radhito. So it describes that Krishna goes away with one special gopi, but her name is not mentioned. Now, this does not mean that Radharani is not mentioned. There are many scriptures in which she is mentioned. So Brahma Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahmanda Purana are 3 of the Puranas which quite profusely describe Radharani. But the important point is, we may say, why is she not mentioned in the Bhagavad Purana? Now, or why is she not mentioned in the direct Bhakti text so much? So, or the dharmic text at large. So why is she hidden? So it's important to understand that way. If we go to the Vedas, even Krishna is hidden in the Vedas. In the Vedas, Vishnu is mentioned, but Krishna is not mentioned so much. Why? Because Krishna is God at home, not God in office. So in the Vedas are primarily concerned with the material management of the world, and Krishna is not involved in the material management. In one sense, Krishna has subcontracted the creation of the world to Brahma. And if at all any management is involved, it's Vishnu who does that. So even Krishna is hidden in the Vedic scriptures per se. Now, if we consider Radharani, Radharani is Krishna's consort, but she is in Parakiras. Now, what is this Parakiras? Parakiras means that she is not, so Ras is emotion or relationship which leads to emotion. And Swakya is where Krishna, Krishna is duly wedded with his consort. So Rukmini is in Swakya. And Radharani is in the Parakiya. So now, even understanding God at home is not easy for people, because a person, they want to see God, they're habituated to seeing God in a position of authority. In Brahmaji couldn't understand, and Krishna was playing and taking the juta of the cowherd boys, the buttermilk that they had drunk. Said, is this, how can this be God? So if they hear about Radharani, how can they understand? So that is kept hidden in the scriptures. Now, what exactly is Parakiras? So Parakiras, it epitomizes the ultimately selfless love, supremely selfless. So normally, when you talk about selfless love, means that I give you something and I don't expect much in return. Now, we all want love to be selfless. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get anything in return, but we don't expect it, we don't demand it. So why is Radharani's love this Parakiras is ultimately selfless love? Because she gives herself completely to Krishna and she gets nothing in return. She doesn't even get the honor of his name, that she is his wife. So normally in any interaction, see, if we consider the Karmakandi form of worship, people give very little to God and they expect a lot in return. Many people give in charity because they think that if you give in charity, we'll get 10 times more in return or 100 times more in return. So we give a little and we expect a lot. And that is the normal mode of approaching and even approaching God. That is the Karmakandi way. And Radharani, her relationship with Krishna is completely opposite. She gives herself completely to Krishna and she doesn't even have an official formal relationship with him. Now the world may think this is immoral, but actually it is transmoral. It is transcendental morality. So if this is morality, immoral is below morality. Transmoral is above morality. So Radharani in one way is demonstrating the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So when Krishna plays his flute, at that time all the gopis give up all their dharmas and just rush to please Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. So that is Radharani's supreme position. Now, prema is far above dharma. And for the world to come up to dharma itself is difficult. That's why Krishna has to come again and again, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, to establish dharma in the world. So the world needs to understand and follow dharma before it can get even a sense of prema. That's why what happens is the scriptures focus much more on dharma than on prema. So that's what the main scriptures talk about. But now if you look at today's Bhakti culture, Radha is always depicted with Krishna in the center of Ras Lila. And even if we have general depiction of Krishna Lila, especially with the gopis, in most iconography is pictures, she always has a special or distinctive position. And if you consider the temples today, Radha Krishna temples are often as frequent as, if not more frequent than Rukmini Krishna temples. So Rukmini is Krishna's, we could say, officially wedded wife, his consort. Radharani is not, but Radha Krishna temples are far more. So how does this happen? If we look at the Mahabharata, It talks about Krishna with Rukmini primarily, not with Radha. And the Mahabharata is also an influential book. So this has happened, the centrality of Radha's position to a large part that has happened by the Bhakti tradition at large, but specifically by the Gaudiya tradition. So what exactly is the understanding of Radharani's position in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? So before the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, there was Jayadev Goswami who wrote his Geet Govinda. And while not all Puranas were equally widely read. There are many Puranas, but some Puranas have commentaries. The Bhagavad Purana has many commentaries. The Vishnu Purana has a few commentaries. But other Puranas don't have that many commentaries. So it was Jayadev Goswami, when he wrote the Geet Govinda, there he talked about how Krishna is mad in love for this special gopi. And he tells that special gopi is Radharani. So in terms of today's world, if you have a movie which is a blockbuster or bestseller, so Jayadev Goswami's book was like that. It is a magnificent work of poetry itself. And that highlighted Radharani's special central position. And that began a whole tradition from Jayadev Goswami's Geet Govinda. There are many other poets from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear, as is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There was Vidyapati, there was Chandidas, and they all describe Radharani through poetry. And they all describe the great devotion of Radharani to Krishna, of the intimacy of the love between them. And that is very important. However, the Gaudiya tradition, the Gaudiya Radha, if you can say, Radharani as she revealed in the Gaudiya tradition, is far, far more than just the topmost devotee. So now, we won't get time to go. There are verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita which illustrate each of these points. But let's look at them one by one. So what does the Gaudiya tradition say? That she's not just the topmost devotee, she's the topmost devotee whose love mystifies and intrigues even Krishna. Why does she love me so much? What is there so lovable within me? It's like if we are eating some food and somebody else is eating the food. And this is so delicious. This is the best food I have eaten in the world. And then we eat it. It doesn't taste that good. What do you find so special in it? So Krishna, he doesn't understand what's so attractive about me. That Radharani is able to give up everything completely. So in fact, it is this fascination with understanding Radharani's love that Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna is the attractor of devotion, but Radharani has so much devotion that even Krishna cannot understand her. So not only is he the topmost devotee, but the topmost devotee whose love intrigues and mystifies even Krishna. That's the special point, even within her understanding of her as the topmost devotee. And it's not only that. She is also the ultimate embodiment and exemplar of devotion. Not only is the topmost devotee, she embodies devotion. So she is Bhakti Swarupini, as Chaitanya Charitamrita says, that she's the embodiment of devotion. Now, what is the difference between the two? She's the topmost devotee, and she's the embodiment of devotion. What it means is, it's like, say, there's that there are many devotees, and among devotees, she's the topmost. That's one understanding. But the other is that she embodies devotion for everyone. And that point can be better understood with the third point, that anybody who has any devotion, that devotion comes from Radharani. So she's not just one devotee among many devotees. She's one devotee who is the source of the devotion of everyone. She's one devotee who is the source of the devotion of everyone. So whoever has devotion, that comes from Srimati Radharani. And then it is described that she is God in a female form. She's not just the source of, she's not just the topmost devotee, she's not just the exemplar of devotion, she's not just sustainer of devotion, but she is God in a female form. And not only she is God in a female form, she is also the embodiment of Krishna's pleasure potency. Now, what does this pleasure potency mean? So let's look at some of these points one by one. So it is said that she is the Ladini Shakti. So Ladini Karai Krishna Ananda Aswadan, Ladini Dwara Bhakte kare bhaktera poshan. So, if we sing the Radhika Ashtakam, there it says that Krishna, all his desires are satisfied by Srimati Radharani. So, if all his desires are satisfied by Srimati Radharani, then why are there any other devotees at all? Why should any other devotee exist if all of Krishna's desires are satisfied? The point is, it's somewhat that it's Radharani directly and indirectly satisfies Krishna's desires. She pleases Krishna. So she directly satisfies Krishna's desires by offering her whole being to him. Her beauty, her artistry, her sweetness, her entire being is for Krishna's pleasure. So she, in one sense, is the person who gives the topmost pleasure to Krishna. But that's not all that she does. Along with that, whoever serves Krishna, whoever pleases Krishna, she nourishes their devotion. It is she who gives them nourishment and devotion. Now, what does this mean? That, say, we talk about this. Let's see if I've explained this here. Yeah. So whatever uplifting joy we experience in serving Krishna, sometimes we chant and we feel very good. Sometimes we sing and we feel good. We feel uplifted. So that joy is due to Radharani's independent mercy. Independent means it is Swarat. Just as Krishna is Swarat, Radharani is also Swarat. And that's why the joy is not accessible by mechanical repetition alone. See, one day I may wash my face, I wake up early in the morning and sit down to chant, and I feel empowered by chanting. And next day I think, oh, I'll do the same thing and I'll chant just as nicely. And next day I chant and I feel as if the words are not coming out of my mouth. Uttering the word feels like a burden. Why? Because it is not mechanical repetition that produces that rasa, that taste. It is Radharani's mercy that is producing that taste. So she is we could say, the mystical mechanism. Now, when we give the example, we say that yatha tarora mula nishechanena trupyanti tat skanda bhujopashakha, that water the root of the tree and all the parts will be watered. Parts of tree will be watered. So now what we say, that similarly we serve Krishna and then we will be satisfied. So now with respect to a tree, we understand it. The tree is here and the roots is here, the branches and the leaves are here. So from here, it will go there. So in tree, there's a physical mechanism. But what is the mechanism in serving Krishna? So in serving Krishna, it's not a mechanism, it's a person. It's a person, and that person is Radharani. So it is through Radharani's mediation that we are able to please Krishna. And when we please Krishna, at that time, we feel nourished, we feel enriched. Now, does that mean that Radharani is not pleased with us when we chant? No, it's not like that. She wants us to realize that it is not we who are the doers. We are tiny beings, we are conditioned, we are flawed. What can we do to please Krishna actually? But she is the supreme being. And it is by her mercy that we can ever do anything to please Krishna. So it's not a mechanism. Now, when we move forward, I'll take about 2-3 more points and then we'll go to one pastime which illustrates this principle. So I mentioned these 5 points. I'm going to 2 or 3 points. She's God in female form. Now, nowadays, in the Western and westernized world, feminism is becoming quite aggressive. Now, feminism, as far as saying give women equal rights to property and other things, that's fine. But here it becomes very aggressive and destructive. So there are Christian churches which depict Jesus in a female form. They say, why should God be male? God should be female. And now they say this is a patriarchal, male-dominated kind of thing. But the Vedic tradition describes that God is not just male or female. He is both. But before we can understand how God is both male and female, we need to understand that we are neither. Now, how are we neither male or female? Because we are souls, and soul doesn't have any material gender. So as long as we are at our bodily conception, then what happens is that we start thinking, oh, God is of my gender, or God is of some other gender. No, but what we consider my gender is actually not my gender, because that's just the gender of my body. And the God is completely different. He exists at a different scale, but he is both male and female. I say he is, it's God comes as the divine couple. Now, why does he come as the divine couple? We'll come to that, but let's have some intellectual fun here. That many in the Western tradition, they have this conception of monotheism and polytheism. So Bhakti is Bhakti conception of divinity. It's not just monotheism, that only Krishna is God. It is bi-monotheism, that there is one God, but in two forms. There's a divine couple. Radha and Krishna are both God. And actually, Radha Krishna are not the only divine couple. There's Sita Ram, Lakshmi Ramayana also. So what you can say, it is polymorphic bi-monotheism. Polymorphic means there are many, many forms. There are many, many forms. The divine couple manifests in many, many forms. So it's the Bhakti conception of divinity is that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but Radharani is the Supreme Goddess. Now, what does this mean? The Chaitanya Charan says that Radharani is the transformation of Krishna's love. She is the transformation of Krishna's love. Can you see my screen here? What are you seeing?
Yes, Prabhu, we see the Bhakti conception of divinity.
Are you seeing my browser or only my this thing?
Yes, we can see everything, and then the browser. Yes.
Sorry?
We can see your slide and the browser as well.
Okay, you're seeing the browser now. You're seeing the words which I was quoting?
We are only seeing PPT, Mataji.
Yeah, we cannot see the browser, Prabhu.
Yeah, we cannot see the browser.
Okay, so let me see if I can do that right. Sorry. So, Radhika hayena Krishnera pranaya vikar Swarupa Shakti Ladini Namayahar. So here this is Adi Lila 4.59. Radhika Hayen. Who is Radhika? Krishnera Pranaya Vikar. Pranaya is love. Vikar is transformation. So Radharani is Krishna's love transformed. And she is the Swarupa Shakti. Swarupa Shakti Ladini Namayahar. And she is his internal potency, and the internal potency's name is Radharani. Sorry, is not Radharani, it's Ladini Shakti. So Ladini is the pleasure-giving potency. And the next verse is what I had quoted earlier, that we have that Ladini does two things. She nourishes the devotees and she pleases Krishna. But let's look at this point, Pranaya Vikar. So what does Pranaya Vikar mean over here? How is Radharani the transformation of Krishna's love? So the understanding is that Krishna has an ocean of love within him. So let's look at this. See, Krishna, transformation of Krishna's love. Pranaya Vikar. So Krishna has an ocean of love within him, and that love is not satisfied unless it finds Krishna's love wants to find a fulfilling object. Now he is perfect, he is God. And for him, who is the perfect object? For all perfect God, there is no object as perfect as he himself. So he transforms himself into the subject of love. So Chaitanya Charan says, Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Deha Dhari. They are one soul who take two bodies. So Eka Atma Dui Deha Dhari. They take two bodies. And what do? Ek atma duhi dedari, anyonyana vilasa kari. They delight in each other. They delight in each other. So what happens is, Krishna has so much love in his heart that it overflows and seeks a worthy object. So the worthy object, the worthiest object is he himself in female form. And then they, both of them, reciprocate extraordinary levels of love. And while they're reciprocating extraordinary levels of love, what happens is all living beings. So there's love going from Krishna to Radha, love coming from Radha to Krishna. And in their reciprocation, all living beings, we can say, are meant to be in the ecstatic cross current of their love. All living beings are flooded, inundated, nourished in the cross current of their love. All living beings in the, so Radharani's love goes to Krishna and Krishna's love goes to Radharani. So let's try to understand how this happens with one pastime. All this might seem a little abstract and philosophical. So in the Anand Vrindavan Champu, Kavi Karnapur describes the Rasa Leela. And he describes very special insights from the Rasa Leela. So one question we may get is, we know that the gopis become proud and then Krishna disappears from the gopis at that time when they become proud. So now we may get the question, at one level there's a lesson to learn that anybody, even as exalted as the gopis, if they become proud, Krishna will go away from them. But another perspective comes up that actually, how can devotees as exalted as the gopis become proud? So Kavi Karnapur explains that when all the gopis are there dancing with Krishna in the Ras Leela, they're all delighted to be with Krishna. And at the same time, as they're with Krishna, they realize that actually our love for Krishna is nowhere as much as Radharani's love for Krishna. And if Krishna is with all of us, then the world will think that we are all at the same level. So therefore, they act as if they are proud, so that Krishna will go away alone with Radharani. So Radharani, so the gopis, they all know Radharani's special position. And they want to ensure that her special position is highlighted. So they all act proud so that Krishna will leave them and go with Radharani. And then when Krishna and Radharani are going to the forest, Radharani is initially delighted. Oh, Krishna is with me. And the next moment, her delight changes to concern and sorrow and agony. She says, Lalita, Vishaka, Tungavidya, they're all so dear to me. But they must be devastated that Krishna has left them all and has gone away. How can I be happy alone when they all are in distress? So what can I do? So he starts thinking, and then as Krishna is taking her, in one sense, sneaking her away into the forest alone, they are going quite quickly. And Radharani slows down. And then Krishna again tries to go fast, again she slows down, again she goes fast, again she slows down. And then finally Radharani's hope is that if she goes slowly, the gopis will be searching for them and the gopis will find them and they'll all be together. So then Radharani says that, oh Krishna, I'm very tired. I can't walk any further. So now Radharani is again, her reason for saying this is that she wants other gopis to catch up with them. And then Krishna apparently gets angry. He says, because this is a forest, I cannot get a palanquin to carry you. So therefore, you just climb on my back and I'll carry you. But the way he speaks it is with anger. And Radharani is looking to see whether the gopis are coming or not. And then suddenly she looks at Krishna and she sees Krishna's angry face. And the next moment, Krishna disappears. And then she realizes what has happened. She realizes that actually Krishna thought that she has also become proud. That she has become proud, she thinks is entitled. And because of that, Krishna has gone away from her. And then she becomes premonmatta, she becomes mad in love, in separation from Krishna. And then she acts as if Krishna is there and she's speaking to Krishna. So it's like a imaginary conversation. And in the first canto, Bhishma Dev actually remembers how, on his deathbed, how the gopis were mad. They acted as if mad in the absence of Krishna. So he's actually pointing towards Radharani's madness also. So she starts saying, Krishna, please don't go away. Please don't go away. He says, I don't. Then she imagines that Krishna is, her imagination is transcendental and pure. She imagines Krishna is replying, I don't like when anyone becomes proud and takes me for granted. He says, no, I didn't take you for granted. I was only concerned about other gopis, other sakhis. He says, I came with you. I had plans with you. Why did you thwart my plans? He says, no, I was just concerned about them. He says, no, they will take care of themselves and you take care of yourself. I am going. And then Radharani says, no, Krishna, I won't be able to live without you. Please come back. And Krishna replies that, no, all the other gopis are living. You will also live. I'm going. And then Radharani says that, no, Krishna, they at least have each other's association to support them. I am completely alone here. Please don't leave me. Please come back. And Krishna says that you get what you deserve. And he goes away from her. And when he goes away from her, Radharani faints. So actually, Radharani faints. And now Kavi Karnapur gives a fascinating explanation here. He says that actually, he says Murcha Devi is in Vrindavan, everything is personified. So Murcha Devi is the goddess who causes fainting. So he says she comes to the rescue of Radharani. What happens is that our body, Radharani's body is transcendental, but at the same time, it's a body. So our body has finite capacity to withstand pain. That's why when somebody gets a severe accident, they go unconscious. Or somebody hears some very distressing news and they may just faint. So that fainting is the body's defense mechanism, by which when the pain is unbearable, the switching off of the consciousness saves us from that unbearable pain. So for Radharani, the pain of separation from Krishna is unbearable. And she wouldn't have survived with that pain, survived in the absence of Krishna. So to rescue her from that unbearable pain, Murcha Devi comes. The goddess of fainting comes and she envelops Radharani. And Radharani, that's how she faints. And she faints and Krishna has gone away. And then at that time, all the other gopis are searching. And they are like transcendental detectives. They see, okay, there's a footprint, there are two footprints over here. And here there's one footprint. Here it seems that the gopi wanted some flower. And the flower was high up. So Krishna rose her up, lifted her up so that she could reach out to the flower. So only, and the one footprint is deeper. Or one set of footprints is deeper. And they keep moving forward, they're talking. And some of the gopis, especially the gopis on the side of Chandravali, they are a little annoyed that why has Krishna gone away with this special gopi? They look at each other and they immediately notice this is Radharani. They have gone away, she's gone away with Radharani. So Chandravali herself is mild-mannered, but her associates get angry. But as they are searching, they finally come and then they see that Radharani has fainted. They see Radharani has fainted. They all run up to her. And some of the gopis, they just start shaking her. They start trying to arouse her. Some of them go to the nearby stream and get some water and sprinkle it on her. And Radharani comes back to consciousness. They ask her, what happened? What happened? And at that time, Krishna, Radharani tells the whole story. She's so aghast to see that Krishna is not there. She's in such agony that she can't even speak. But he starts speaking. And when all the other gopis, even the gopis on Chandravali's side who see that actually at that time, how much agony she is in. And they, now the gopis on Radharani's side, they know how much love Radharani has for Krishna. But the gopis on Chandravali's side, they know Chandravali is their heroine. And she's the ultimate devotee for them. and they can't, why is Radharani considered so glorious? But here, when they are interacting, and generally, when we speak about someone, if we have any emotion for that person, if you're angry with that person, that anger comes out in the person, yeah, he's there, you can go and meet him. Just when we speak it, anger comes out. And if we have affection for that person, when we start speaking about them, our voice becomes soft, our eyes become bright, our whole expression becomes cheerier. So that is just when we have a little affection. Now when Radharani, she has the topmost love for Krishna, and when she starts speaking about her agony in separation from Krishna, she starts narrating all that had happened. And all the other gopis, especially when they hear about how Radharani, even when she was with Krishna, she was concerned about the other gopis. All the negative feelings that they have had, they just completely go away. And they all become united. They all rally around Radharani. They say, how can we find Krishna? Now, on one side, they're angry with Krishna for having abandoned them. But on the other side, they're afraid to express their anger, because they think if we express their anger and Krishna sees that, Krishna will further go away from us. So in that emotional turbulence, they search for Krishna everywhere. And finally they realize they go so deep into the Raja forest that when they look ahead, they can't even see their hand. And they realize, if we can't see our hand, how are we going to find Krishna over here? So they turn back. And then they come to the banks of Jamuna. Their minds and hearts are completely permeated with remembrances of Krishna. And then they sit down and compose the Gopi Gita. And it's in response to the Gopi Gita. One by one, all of them sing the Gopi Gita. Then finally Krishna returns. So Krishna returns. And then they have very sweet exchanges. Now that itself is a whole beautiful pastime, how Krishna responds to the gopis' statements. But the point here is, what we were discussing is that we see Radharani's selfless love, that she is not concerned about simply enjoying with Krishna. Yes, she wants to give pleasure to Krishna, but she also she has concern for other gopis. And she is even ready to give up the association, risk giving up the association of Krishna, so that other gopis can get the association of Krishna. And this is the mood that Lord Chaitanya embodied. Lord Chaitanya, on one side, hungered for the association of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, as soon as he took sannyas, what he wanted to do was just go to Vrindavan and just be in the presence of Krishna. That's what his heart wanted to do. But that is one part of Radharani. She just wants to be with Krishna. But another part of Radharani is she's concerned about all those who are not with Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also had that part. Those who are not with Krishna. And therefore, what did he do? He performed that Leela by which he heard that Akashvani. This is not the time for you to go to Vrindavan. And then he came back. He came back to Shantipur. From there, he went to Puri. And from there, he traveled across South India and North India. And he delivered people. So a devotee, in the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we also try to have that mood. One part of us is that we want to be with Krishna and we long to be with Krishna. And that longing to be with Krishna will come by Radharani's mercy. But it's not just the longing to be with Krishna. It's also the longing that those who are not with Krishna, should also be with Krishna. Now, of course, in this case, it is different that Krishna had gone away from the gopis, whereas for all of us conditioned souls, we have gone away from Krishna. So Prabhupada had that. Prabhupada longed to be in Vrindavan, longed to be with Krishna, but at the same time, he longed to take Krishna to the whole world. And Prabhupada was in America, the first Gaur Purnima that he celebrated. So all alone, nobody in America knew about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first Janmashtami celebrated, barely a few people knew about Krishna. His heart, he writes in letter, I'm longing to be in Vrindavan and Mayapur, but my service requires me to be here. So Prabhupada embodies this mood. Now Prabhupada not only embodied the mood of Radharani, in both longing for Krishna and longing for others to be with Krishna. But Prabhupada also was very, very careful in establishing the primary position of Srimati Radharani. That he, if you look at the Gaudiya tradition, if you look at Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or even Jiva Goswami, they just refer to Radha as by the name Radha. They refer to her as simply as Radha. I have a friend in the Gaudiya tradition, in the Sri Vaishnava tradition. He told me, you people, you get it all wrong. He says, he told me that you have no honorific for Krishna. You just use Krishna. You don't say Bhagwan Krishna, you don't say Lord Krishna, you don't say Sri Krishna. And for Radha, you have a double honorific. You have Shrimati and Radharani. So why do you respect Radha so much and don't respect Krishna? So actually, it's not like that. But it's Prabhupada's usage. So Prabhupada introduces double honorific for Radharani. Why is that? Because he wanted to highlight. Now, it is not that Prabhupada was not respectful to Krishna. He was definitely he had profound respect for Krishna. In fact, he coined a whole new term, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to explain the conception of Bhagavan. And Prabhupada was spreading Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada wanted us to have a personal relationship with Krishna. A respectful relationship, but as a personal, accessible relationship, like a friend. Many devotees who were with Prabhupada, they said that when we were with Prabhupada and Prabhupada would speak about Krishna, like Prabhupada was speaking like a person who was his friend, and he could be our friend. So Prabhupada told, for example, Hagri Prabhu to start running back to Godhead. So he said, Swamiji, I have never done anything with a magazine except read it till now. How can I run a magazine? So you just try, Krishna will help you. It's like Krishna is some person right next to there and he will help you. And the way Prabhupada spoke about it, actually devotees got that faith that Krishna is there and Krishna will help us. So it's not, Prabhupada did establish the position of Krishna, but Prabhupada wanted us to have an intimate relationship with Krishna, a personal relationship with Krishna. On the other hand, there were, he uses a double honorific for Radha. Now, as I said, Chakravarti Pad simply uses Radha. Even Jiva Goswami and Rupa Goswami use Radha. Some of them use Sri Radha. Bhakti Thakur uses Sri Radha, Srimati Radha, or Srimati Radhika. But it's Prabhupada who uses Srimati and Radharani. So Radharani is used. There are Vaishnava songs, Braja songs, Radharani ki jai, Barsane wali ki jai. But this combination, Srimati and Radharani, that is Prabhupada who uses this. So what has happened is, Prabhupada wanted to ensure that we don't misunderstand Radharani. The Sahajiyas take Radharani's love for Krishna and Krishna's love for Radharani very cheaply. And when mundane people write and speak about Radharani and Krishna, they think their love is mundane. They think it is to be immoral. So Prabhupada wanted us to have that understanding that Radharani is the topmost devotee. But at the same time, that she's not an ordinary person. She's a great person. So Prabhupada had Radha Krishna temples built all over the world. But at the same time, he ensured that we had the proper respect for Srimati Radharani. And Prabhupada revealed Radharani's position gradually. In the Bhagavad Gita, the word Radha comes only twice in the entire Bhagavad Gita. And where is that? It is Prabhupada in the introduction is offering praise, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. So in the verse and in the translation. So just as the Vedic scriptures keep Radharani hidden, Prabhupada's books, he progressively reveals. On the altar, Radharani is there. But it is his legacy by which we get connected with the broad Gaudiya tradition. We get the Chaitanya Charan and we get the other books where Radharani's special position is revealed. And Radharani's mercy is the most important for every devotee. Because it is by her mercy that we can gain the higher taste. And that higher taste is what enables us to give up the lower taste and become liberated from material existence. So we all can pray that Radharani, who is the supreme devotee whose love intrigues Krishna, that Radharani is the embodiment and exemplar of devotion. That Radharani is the source and sustainer of devotion. That Radharani who is God in the female form. That Radharani who is a transformation of Krishna's love as his Ladini Shakti. That Radharani nourish our hearts with devotion so that we all can enter into that ecstatic cross current of love between Radha and Krishna. That is the Gaudiya tradition understanding of the ultimate perfection for us sadhakas. That God in male and female form are having ecstatic loving exchanges, and we join in those ecstatic loving exchanges. We become ecstatically immersed in the cross current of divine love. That is the purpose and perfection of our lives. The purpose and perfection that we all can attain by Radharani's mercy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So to quickly summarize, I discussed 3 main points today. I talked about how Radharani is hidden in scripture because she is, even Krishna is hidden because he's God at home, and Radharani is in Parkiras. So Parkiras, it means that actually she is supremely, her love is supreme selfless. She doesn't even get the name of Krishna, and yet she offers her everything to him. And in today's, if you consider how hidden she is in scripture and how widespread she is in today's temple and bhakti culture, so how did that happen? It is the Gaudiya tradition's contribution. So in our Gaudiya tradition, we discussed how she is revealed to be much, much more than simply a special devotee. She is a special, I talked about these 5 things. She's a special devotee whose love intrigues Krishna. She's the embodiment and exemplar. Her selflessness is such that every devotee aspires for that selflessness. She's also the source and sustainer of devotion in everyone. She's God in female form. So Krishna's love transformed. And she's also the Ladini Shakti of Krishna, who gives pleasure to Krishna and who sustains our devotion. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any quick reflections or questions?
Thank you so much for this such amazing and enlightening session for glorification of Radharani. Radharani couldn't able to do separation from Krishna. Radharani loves so much Krishna. She gave everything for Krishna and she is not expecting anything from Krishna. Radharani is the source of every devotee. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I'm requesting devotees. If anybody have any questions or realization, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I just wanted to thank you for such a beautiful, beautiful class. I really, really appreciated all of it. I really loved how you explained that Radharani is the source of devotion for all devotees. I had never heard it put like that before. And that was really just amazing. It gives me another way to kind of frame the way that I look at Srimati Radharani. That's so beautiful. I also appreciate the way you explain the Parikya Das or Ras, I'm sorry. Just because I wasn't familiar with that at all. And yes, and just that all living beings are meant to be in the cross current of their love. That was also just so, nectarian to hear. So thank you so much for giving us a deeper understanding and also even greater appreciation of Srila Prabhupada and Gaudiya Vaishnavism for, making Radharani known to the world in a much deeper way. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Happy to be of service.
Thank you.
Definitely. Hare Krishna. Yes, are there any other? Thank you, Ritanya Mataji. Happy to be of service. Yes.
If no one has any further questions, we can end the call here. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Now I am on mute. Okay. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Beautiful, beautiful class, Prabhuji, and very nice conversation between Radharani and Krishna when they, just go away from the Ras Leela dance, and it's really, really amazing, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So my question is, somebody in our Bhakti Vriksha, they said, oh, we don't have deities of Radharani, so, and we have Laddu Gopal, so can we dress up him as Radharani and worship? And it's like, you know, we say Radharani is coming from Krishna, is the, like, you know, like they are one, like that we say, and say, oh, anyway they are one, so we just dress up then like Krishna as Radharani and worship.
I'm not sure, Mataji.
It's completely, you know, strange. I said, we said them no, but I just want to clarify from you.
It's I don't think there's any pastime where Krishna takes the form of Radharani. Does he? If there are any pastimes like that, it might be. In Vrindavan, Krishna takes on he sometimes takes on the form of some gopi, acts like a gopi, or Radharani acts like a gopa, so that she can go out.
Yeah, means you know, I think the tax collector, they caught him. All the gopis caught him, and they said, you need to dress up like a girl, and you know, you will be the elderly gopi. They say, oh, you marry my son, and you will be my daughter-in-law, and like that they tease him.
That could be a precedent, but ideally I would say that best is to ask some pujari. Dinabandhu Prabhu is coming here, you can ask Dinabandhu Prabhu.
Okay. I never expected this kind of question, yeah. But we don't do that actually.
Certainly we don't do that, yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class. This is Gail. I wonder if you could make it a little more vivid for me, this concept of our being caught in the cross currents of the love between Radha and Krishna. You know, maybe what's a practical example of such an experience of being caught in the cross currents of the love that they give to each other?
Okay. So many devotees, like I'll give a contemporary example of getting caught in some divine cross currents, what it means. So I talked this with many senior Prabhupada disciples, and they said that when Prabhupada was there and the Krishna conscious movement was just spreading at astonishing pace. So they said that now when we look back, when we speak now, when we try to do the same activities now, they just don't have anywhere near the similar impact. So I think so Satswarup Maharaj writes this, and other devotees also, I heard this from them. They say that it was Prabhupada had such a great desire to glorify Krishna, that Krishna's glories be spread all over the world. And Krishna saw how much Prabhupada was risking and sacrificing even in his old age. So Prabhupada wanted to fulfill Krishna's desire. So Prabhupada's desire was to glorify Krishna, spread Krishna's glories all over the world. And Krishna's desire was to fulfill Prabhupada's desire. And he said, we just happen to be the instruments in between. So Krishna wanted to fulfill Prabhupada's desire, and we happened to be there to serve. And Krishna empowered us, not because we were pure, but because we somehow were assisting Prabhupada. Now, this is not to minimize. We have had many, many great souls in our movement in Prabhupada's, by Prabhupada's mercy in the next generations. But the point is, they felt that we were empowered like anything, and we were not pure enough. Just because, so in one sense, so what they're saying is something similar, that we were caught in the cross current of love between Prabhupada and Krishna. Prabhupada wanted to glorify Krishna, and Krishna wanted to fulfill Prabhupada's desires, and we became instruments. So Krishna used us to fulfill Prabhupada's desires, and that means Krishna used us to spread his glories in ways we can't do now, or even if we try to, it doesn't happen. So basically, what it means is that from our perspective, that we have our spiritual guides, we have our spiritual masters, we have Srila Prabhupada through his books. So we take some instruction of Srila Prabhupada, which we feel Prabhupada is very strong, which speaks strongly to us, and we do our best to fulfill that. And when we do our best, who knows, Krishna will empower us, because Krishna wants that desire of Srila Prabhupada to be fulfilled. I know one senior devotee who is quite active in scientific preaching, a Prabhupada disciple. He doesn't have an official science degree, but he has had an enormous impact in scientific outreach. So I asked him, how did you even decide to do scientific outreach? So he said, I read Prabhupada's books several times, heard Prabhupada's talks, and then I felt that one thing that Prabhupada strongly wanted, which was not happening, was that do scientific outreach. So I decided to take that up. So he said, my realization is Prabhupada's books, it's not just wisdom over there, but Prabhupada has given many of his aspirations, his desires there. And each of these desires, so Prabhupada's books are like a mine with many jewels in the mine. Ratne Rakhani. And if we just take one instruction and we make that our life's mission, and we try to fulfill that in our own, according to our own small capacity, in our own sphere of influence, we do that, then because that is Prabhupada's desire, which is to be fulfilled. So Krishna may engage us to be able to do that. So that's how we can get caught in the cross current at our level.
So it seems like basically, whether we're talking about being caught in a cross current from our perspective here in this material world, or in our perfected, I guess, Siddha Swarup in the spiritual world, the basic principle about being caught in a cross current means being instrumental in facilitating the expression of love between Krishna and his devotee. And just a very quick clarification of definition of this word transformation. Would you say that it's synonymous with manifestation? Because you're saying that Radharani's love is a transformation.
Well, you could use manifestation, and every manifestation also involves some transformation. So, like say, well, Radha and Krishna definitely have different forms. They don't have the same form. That is clear enough. So, in that sense,
transformation
might be a more appropriate word. But I think but manifestation is also fine, because manifestation can also involve transformations.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Laitangi Mataji, you had a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, and thank you so much for the wonderful class. So comprehensive was the presentation. So my question is on when Goswamis installed the deities of principal deities of Krishna, did they install Radharani also? I read somewhere or heard that previously in Vrindavan, Radharani was worshipped as being in the heart of Krishna, and then the Orisan kings, they sent Radharani as deities to be worshipped along. So can you throw some light on that?
Okay. So previously Radharani was worshipped as being in the heart of Krishna and not explicitly worshipped. It's possible. As I said, two things are there in this, that in general, Radharani's worship is hidden. It is to some extent the Gaudiya version of traditions, revelation, which is, so we can say that it is Krishna has arranged Krishna has arranged it in such a way that he reveals different aspects of himself at different times. So Radharani's revelation is arranged through someone else in this particular way. So yes, if you consider the Goswamis, they lived in Vrindavan, and while Vrindavan was the abode of devotion, but even in Vrindavan, if you see, Radha Kund at that time was lost. And if you compare the history of that part of the world, at that time, Vrindavan itself in some ways was lost. Mathura was the primary pilgrimage place, and Mathura was celebrated as the birthplace of Krishna, and the Mathura Brahmins were far more influential at that time. And of course, Vrindavan was still a holy place, no doubt. Govardhan and other places are there, but Vrindavan was not that prominent, and that's why we have, who is that? Is it one of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He wants to go to Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, be cautious. Don't, the Mathura devotees, they have their own special mood. Be careful in associating with them. And then he said, so the point is that it is because of the Goswamis' efforts, they're building the temples, they're discovering the holy places, they're themselves staying in Vrindavan, that Vrindavan started flourishing. So now if you consider, when people go to Mathura to go to Vrindavan. They don't go to Mathura primarily. Yes, Mathura is Krishna Janmasthan and it's special, but Vrindavan has far more temples. So that transformation also due to the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So now because Mathura was prominent at that time, so naturally Radharani's worship is not talked about in Mathura so much. So to some extent, we have to understand that as Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, we were new. And we had to establish our credentials. Just like Prabhupada, when he was in Vrindavan and he wanted to do the temple inauguration, he said the real installation of the temple is our Harinam Kirtan. But because the Brahmins will criticize, so we have to get them and let them do all the rituals. So there is, when we are in a particular place, there is a certain level of deference to local custom that is required. So it is not that overnight the local customs can completely be overthrown. So we could say from that perspective, that is more of a historical perspective, that gradually as the Goswamis became more and more established, their followers became more and more established, then as the temples came, then Radharani's deity also came over there. We see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, it was implemented gradually. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nasi, Shudra Kenenai, Yehi Krishna Tattva Vekta, Sei Guru Hai. Whoever knows Krishna Tattva, they can be the gurus. But at the same time, now Rupa and Sanatana Goswami were the foremost disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the foremost among the Goswamis, but they themselves didn't initiate anyone. Now we can say that Jiva Goswami was initiated by Rupa Goswami, but apart from that, they didn't take any disciples. Why? Because in that Orthodox society, because earlier they had embraced Islam, so they had been considered to have lost their caste. So they didn't give initiation. Then at that time, most people would take initiation from Jiva Goswami, or they take initiation from Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who was born in the South Indian Brahmin family. So gradually acceptance comes. But just you go 1-2 generations down, Narottam Das Thakur, he was from a Kayastha family, and he not only initiated, but he started initiating Brahmanas. And so as our tradition gets more influence, more prominence, then more and more of the tradition's special revelations or special contributions become manifested. Overall, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood was more of reformation than revolution. See, revolution means, hey, this whole building is terrible, just blow it up. Blow it down and let's build another building. That's revolution. Reformation, actually, this particular wall, this doesn't look very good. Can we repaint this? This roofing is not good. Let's change this. This flooring, we can change it. So gradually you change. Generally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood was more of reformation. So the changes happened over generations. That's how Radharani's deity also didn't manifest immediately. It manifested gradually. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Beautiful answer. Suresh, Prabhuji, you can go ahead, Prabhuji, with your question.
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhuji, thank you, Prabhu, for a nice class. Prabhuji, this one, you said Radharani's mercy is required to get love of Krishna. But how do we connect this one also when we say Balram's mercy also is needed to connect to Krishna, Prabhuji? Lord Balram's mercy also is needed.
Okay. So now we say Balram's mercy is needed, then we say Radharani's mercy is needed. So the point is that in general, the Bhakti tradition specifically, and the broad Vedic tradition, it does not follow a practice of restrained glorification. What do you mean by restrained glorification? That means when one particular manifestation of the divine is glorified, that is glorified profusely. So for example, if we go to Tirupati Balaji, we go to Jagannath Puri, we go to Vrindavan, we go to Mayapur, even we go to Kashi. Each of these places have their Dham Mahatmya. And in the Dham Mahatmya, that place will be glorified as if it is the supreme holy place. And often the comparison will be made that this is the greatest and all others are because of various reasons, all other places they have become pale in influence or whatever. So the idea is that when we are accessing mercy from a particular manifestation of the Lord, let us access it completely. And that's why, okay, I'm in Vrindavan, but this is Kali Yuga, and Mayapur is the special dham. So if only I had been Mayapur, that would have been better. No, you are in Vrindavan, take full benefit of Vrindavan. If we are in Puri and we think, actually, Krishna never came to Puri actually. It's Krishna in Vrindavan, I should have been Vrindavan. No, don't do that. Whichever manifestation of the Lord we are connecting with, be wholehearted in accessing that in relation to that. If you're chanting the holy names, at that time we start thinking, I should be studying Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam class. If I'm hearing Bhagavatam class and start thinking, actually the Yoga Dharma is the Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Why am I wasting time hearing class? Instead of hearing a class for 1 hour, I can chant 8 rounds more. No, don't. When we are accessing a particular manifestation of Krishna, wholeheartedly access that manifestation. So when we are talking about it's Balram's appearance day, at that time we will simply glorify Lord Balram and how his mercy is indispensable. And when it's Radharani's appearance day, we will glorify Radharani. Her mercy is indispensable.
Prabhu, you're muted.
The point is that the Lord manifests himself in various ways, and whichever manifestation is accessible for us, just wholeheartedly avail of that manifestation. So that is the broad understanding. Now, you could have some more nuanced technical understanding, which I won't go into at this stage, but you could be said that it's more of Balramji gives knowledge and Radharani gives pleasure. It's Balramji is the guru who that aspect of Krishna who guides us to understand Krishna Tattva. And it is when by the mercy of Radharani we please Krishna, and then Krishna that our heart gets nourished. So that is we could go into technical aspects of that, because Radharani is in some ways there is Sambit, Sandhini and Ladini Shaktis are there in the spiritual world. So Radharani manifests the Ladini Shakti. In some ways it is said that Balramji manifests the Sambit Shakti in this world, especially that it is Balram who manifests as the Guru. So you could go into those technicalities, but rather than going too much into that, we understand that whichever manifestation is accessible to us, wholeheartedly relish that manifestation and absorb yourself and absorb ourselves in it, and we'll get mercy by thereby. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So thank you very much. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Jai Gaudiya Premanande.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening us today. We are very grateful to you and we look forward to your association again and again in the future. Let's pay our obeisance to Prabhuji and all Vaishnavas
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Radharani
you.
ki jai. Radharani ki jai. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow. Special Radhastami class. Very good. Happy Radhastami to everyone in advance. Bye bye.